Why are you disrespecting
Mr. President?
We have a great relationship.
According to Sky News reporting from Davos, Trump was asked by a European correspondent why he was being critical of Europe. And he replied that Europe must change its policies or bad things will happen. A statement that drew criticism from officials in European capitals. The exchange occurred as Trump was leaving his address to world leaders at the World Economic Forum, with multiple journalists shouting questions simultaneously. The confrontation, reported by international media outlets, including Reuters and AP, highlights the ongoing tensions between Washington and its traditional European allies during Trump's second term. The moment captured international attention because it encapsulated in a single exchange the broader tensions that have characterized transatlantic relations throughout Trump's presidency. A European journalist directly challenged the American president on his treatment of allied nations, and rather than offering diplomatic reassurance, Trump doubled down on his criticism with language that European officials have described as threatening, according to reports from multiple capitals. The reporter pressed Trump directly, asking why he was being disrespectful to Europe, specifically mentioning Britain and France. Trump responded by reiterating his criticism of European energy and immigration policies, according to reporting by Sky News. The exchange demonstrated the degree to which traditional diplomatic norms have shifted under Trump's leadership, with direct public confrontations replacing the careful language that typically characterizes interactions between allied leaders. In his remarks, Trump criticized European policies on energy and immigration, according to reporting from Sky News. He stated that European nations have to change their ways, or they are going to sense a problem. The warning, delivered in characteristically direct terms, suggests that Trump maintains his position that current European policies require fundamental transformation, according to analysts cited by European media. The specific phrase, "bad things will happen if European nations do not change," carries significant weight coming from a president who has demonstrated willingness to use tariffs and economic pressure against allies, according to reporting from Reuters. European officials, according to reports from multiple capitals, have expressed concern about the implications of such statements for transatlantic relations. The language suggests consequences beyond mere diplomatic disagreement, though Trump did not specify what those consequences might entail. The warning echoes similar statements Trump has made throughout his presidency regarding allies who resist American policy preferences. According to analysts cited by European media, the pattern of conditional support followed by threats has become a defining characteristic of Trump's approach to alliance management. European leaders must now calculate whether accommodation or resistance better serves their national interests, a calculation complicated by uncertainty about what bad things Trump might have in mind. The confrontation also touched on the contentious issue of Greenland, with reporters asking Trump about the possibility of a NATO mission to defend the territory rather than American acquisition. Trump suggested the U.S. should play a dominant role in securing Greenland, framing NATO as insufficient in his view, according to Reuters and AP reporting. The response indicates Trump's continued position that American involvement is essential for Arctic security and that collective defense arrangements cannot adequately protect strategic territories. When pressed further on his relationship with NATO and European allies, Trump acknowledged having a great relationship with NATO, but immediately followed with the condition that NATO has to step up, according to pool reports from the event. The pattern of conditional support, offering positive statements immediately followed by demands, has characterized Trump's public communications regarding alliance management, according to analysts who study his diplomatic approach. The Greenland issue has become a flashpoint in U.S.-European relations, with Trump repeatedly expressing interest in acquiring the territory from Denmark, despite consistent Danish rejection of any such discussions. According to European media reports, Danish officials have stated that Greenland is not for sale and that sovereignty questions are not subject to negotiation. Trump's continued pursuit of the issue, despite this rejection, has generated concern among European allies about American respect for territorial integrity, according to diplomatic sources cited by multiple outlets. The exchange at Davos also included Trump's comments on Venezuela. According to pool reports, Trump made claims about U.S.-Venezuela relations and economic cooperation following what he described as recent events. However, there is no independent reporting verifying recent U.S. military operations in Venezuela or a resulting economic deal, as Trump described. Claims made at Davos about Venezuela should be understood as Trump's assertions, which have not been independently confirmed by major news agencies. Trump stated, according to pool reports, that Venezuela is working out really well and made claims about future economic benefits for the country. He suggested that Venezuela would make more money in 6 months than in 20 years through cooperation with American companies. These statements have not been verified by independent sources, and the situation in Venezuela remains subject to ongoing international monitoring and reporting by various organizations. The Venezuela claims are significant because they suggest dramatic developments that have not been reported by international media. According to journalists covering Latin America, there has been no confirmation of the military operations or economic agreements Trump described. This discrepancy between Trump's statements and available reporting raises questions about the accuracy of claims made during his Davos appearances, according to media analysts cited by international outlets. The Davos exchange included questions about South Africa and allegations regarding violence against certain populations. According to pool reports, Trump stated that what is happening in South Africa is terrible, describing it as a situation where what they are doing to a certain group of people is unbelievable. When asked what evidence supported these claims, Trump responded that the administration has seen the numbers and records. The comments on South Africa generated reaction from diplomatic observers, according to international media reports. South African officials have disputed characterizations of systematic violence, and the issue remains contested among various international observers and human rights organizations. Trump's statements represent the administration's position, but have not been independently verified by international monitoring bodies that track human rights conditions globally. South African government representatives, according to reports from Pretoria, have rejected the characterization of conditions in their country and have questioned the basis for Trump's claims. The exchange highlights ongoing disagreements between the Trump administration and various governments regarding the interpretation of domestic conditions in different nations. Independent human rights organizations have offered varying assessments that do not uniformly support the characterization Trump presented at Davos. The confrontation at Davos came immediately following Trump's lengthy address to the World Economic Forum, where he delivered extensive remarks on the American economy, European energy policies, and his continued interest in Greenland. According to the speech transcript, Trump marked the one-year anniversary of his second inauguration by claiming the United States is experiencing significant economic improvements under his leadership. Trump claimed projected growth rates, inflation figures, and market records during his address, though these figures have not been independently verified by mainstream economic data sources. According to his statements, Trump cited 5.4% projected fourth quarter growth and 1.6% core inflation, contrasting current conditions with what he described as problems under the previous administration. Independent economists have not confirmed these specific figures as of reporting time, and some analysts have questioned the methodology behind certain claims. The economic assertions formed a central part of Trump's address, positioning American performance against what he characterized as European failure. According to the transcript, Trump stated that the United States had avoided catastrophic outcomes that he claimed befell European nations. These comparative claims have not been independently assessed by international economic organizations, and European officials have disputed characterizations of their economic performance, according to reports from Brussels. The Davos speech included extensive criticism of European energy policies that Trump has repeatedly described as the Green New Scam. According to reports, Trump sharply criticized EU energy and economic policies, claiming they hurt European competitiveness. He cited figures about German electricity production and UK energy output, though these specific statistics have not been independently verified in the context he presented. Trump claimed that Germany now generates significantly less electricity than in previous years, with substantially higher prices. He also claimed the United Kingdom produces a fraction of the energy it did decades ago, despite access to North Sea resources. These figures, according to the transcript, were presented as evidence of failed European policies, though independent energy analysts have not verified the specific comparisons Trump made. European energy officials, according to reports from multiple capitals, have disputed Trump's characterization of their energy transition policies. While acknowledging challenges in the shift toward renewable energy, European officials have argued that Trump's presentation oversimplifies complex energy market dynamics and ignores progress made in reducing carbon emissions, according to statements reported by European media. Trump's criticism of windmills was particularly pointed, according to the transcript. He stated that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses. He noted that China manufactures most windmills, but suggested they do not rely on them domestically, claiming China sells them to buyers who use them ineffectively. These characterizations represent Trump's position on renewable energy policy rather than independently verified assessments of European energy economics. The windmill criticism has been a recurring theme in Trump's public statements, according to analysts who track his communications. European renewable energy industry representatives, according to reports from Brussels, have disputed Trump's characterization of wind energy economics and have cited studies showing cost competitiveness of wind power in various markets. The disagreement reflects broader debates about energy transition that remain contested among various analysts and stakeholders. Trump also praised China's approach to energy, noting their continued use of coal and other traditional sources while manufacturing renewable equipment for export. According to the transcript, Trump suggested this demonstrated Chinese strategic thinking compared to what he characterized as European foolishness. Chinese officials have not publicly commented on Trump's characterization of their energy strategy, according to available reporting. According to reports, Trump sharply criticized EU energy and economic policies during his address, extending beyond energy to broader social and immigration issues. He stated that certain places in Europe are not recognizable anymore due to policy changes, adding that this observation came from friends returning from different places. The criticism represents Trump's assessment of European conditions rather than independently verified reporting on European social or economic situations. Trump stated that European nations have to get out of the culture that they have created over the last 10 years, describing current policies as problematic for European competitiveness and security. These characterizations reflect the administration's position on European policy rather than consensus assessments from international economic organizations. European officials, according to reports from multiple capitals, have rejected what they describe as oversimplified characterizations of complex policy challenges. The broader critique of European society and culture represents a significant departure from traditional diplomatic communication between allied leaders, according to protocol experts cited by international media. Previous American presidents have typically avoided public criticism of allied nations' domestic policies, preferring to address concerns through private diplomatic channels. Trump's willingness to criticize publicly reflects a different approach to alliance management that has generated significant discussion among diplomatic analysts. The Greenland portion of Trump's Davos address received particular attention from international observers, given ongoing tensions over the issue. According to the transcript, Trump argued for American involvement in Greenland security, citing historical precedent from World War II when Denmark was occupied by Germany. Trump stated the U.S. sent forces to hold Greenland territory during that conflict at significant cost, framing current interest as continuation of historical American commitment to the region. According to Trump's remarks, after the war, the United States returned Greenland to Denmark, which he characterized as a decision he questions. Trump made comments suggesting Denmark has not adequately invested in Greenland's defense, though Danish officials have disputed this characterization, according to European media reports. Denmark has increased defense spending in Greenland in recent years, according to Danish government statements, though Trump suggested these investments remain insufficient. The historical framing of Greenland as territory the U.S. once controlled and returned positions current acquisition efforts as recovery rather than expansion, according to analysts who study Trump's rhetoric. However, historians have noted that U.S. wartime presence in Greenland was conducted with Danish government and exile cooperation and was always understood as temporary wartime measure rather than permanent acquisition, according to academic sources cited by European media. Trump justified his interest in Greenland on national security grounds, stating, according to the transcript, that the territory sits in a strategic location between the United States, Russia, and China. He dismissed suggestions that rare earth minerals drive American interest, stating the reason is strategic national security rather than resource extraction. Trump described Greenland as part of North America geographically, framing acquisition as consolidation of hemispheric territory rather than expansion into European sphere. According to multiple outlets, Trump reiterated his call for talks on Greenland's future, urging allies to discuss its status. He argued this would enhance rather than threaten NATO security, presenting acquisition as benefit to the alliance rather than violation of alliance principles. European officials and legal scholars have expressed different views on this position, according to international media reports, with many arguing that pressured territorial transfers between allies would undermine rather than strengthen collective security arrangements. Denmark has consistently rejected discussions of transferring sovereignty, according to Danish government statements reported by European media. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has stated that Greenland belongs to the Greenlandic people and that sovereignty is not subject to negotiation regardless of American interest. The consistent Danish rejection has not deterred Trump's continued pursuit of the issue, according to analysts who track the ongoing dispute. The Davos address also included claims about American policy achievements that Trump attributed to his administration's actions over the past year. According to the transcript, Trump stated the administration has removed federal employees, cut spending, and reduced regulations at rates he described as unprecedented. These figures represent Trump's claims and have not been independently verified against official government statistics by mainstream reporting as of this time. Trump claimed to have removed hundreds of thousands of federal workers, reduced spending by substantial amounts, and cut regulations at ratios far exceeding his stated goals. According to the transcript, he described these as the largest reductions since World War II. Independent verification of these specific claims was not available at reporting time, and government employment statistics typically require time to compile and verify. On trade policy, Trump claimed tariffs have reduced trade deficits while increasing exports and domestic production. He stated domestic steel production and factory construction have increased significantly. These figures presented during his address represent the administration's assertions rather than independently verified economic data from neutral sources. Economic analysts have offered varying assessments of tariff impacts that do not uniformly support the characterizations Trump presented. Trump's energy claims included statements that U.S. production has reached high levels and gasoline prices have fallen significantly below previous averages. According to the transcript, he announced support for new nuclear reactors, describing safety improvements that have changed his previous skepticism about nuclear power. These claims represent the administration's position on energy policy achievements. Though independent verification of specific figures was not available at reporting time, the address positioned American energy policy against European approaches in terms designed to contrast what Trump characterizes as successful American policies with what